First at noon, we are tracking Hurricane Michael, a live look at the Gulf Coast in Panama City Beach, where the area is already feeling the effects of the powerful Category 4 storm.
Hurricane Michael is a deadly Category 4 storm. This is the worst storm that the Florida Panhandle has seen in more than 100 years.
The monster storm expected to leave behind a devastating path of destruction.
Hurricane Michael eyeing the Gulf Coast with millions of residents across several states expected to be impacted. The storm expected to be the strongest hurricane to hit the Panhandle in a century.
Officials are telling the people who did not evacuate to hunker down and stay inside. We begin our live team coverage with CBS 4's Ty Russell. He's live in Panama City with how it's looking right now. Ty.
Well, Maribel, within the last 30 minutes or so, the winds really started to pick up. The rain is starting to come down a little harder. We're just about a block away from our hotel on a corner here in Panama City. I know our camera lens is a little wet here, but if you can just take a look at the trees are starting to blow a little harder, but it's more or less the rain that is really starting to come down. And we've seen some of the parking lots here in Panama City starting to flood because there was that flash flood watch that we were telling you about yesterday. But if you take a look at some of the video, this is video from outside of our hotel. This is when the winds really started to kick up. You can see the flags were blowing right outside of the hotel. Now, this is a storm that's expected to impact about 30 million people in the area, and we are talking about the Panhandle, including Georgia, including the Carolinas, even as the storm weakens. And right now, I've been watching Gulf Power, one of the electric companies. About 5,000 people are without power. Of course, that number is expected to increase. And also, there are 17,000 people in the Panhandle alone who are under a mandatory evacuation order. And I've been talking to one person who lives right along the coast here. She was ordered to evacuate. She's now at a hotel. She's staying in the lobby right now, trying to get a room. I talked to her just within the last hour or so. Here's what she had to say.
I'm hoping my house is still there, even if it does get flooded, because I have my animals and everything there. But when you live on the water, that's what you got to deal with.
Again, our camera lens is just a little wet because that rain is starting to come down a little harder. Now, there are officials waiting after the storm moves past this area. There are about 1,000 people ready for search and rescue just in case there's that threat of that storm surge along with flooding. There's also the Florida National Guard waiting to see what happens if people here didn't evacuate. Right now, officials are starting to close some of the bridges because the winds are starting to pick up. But as you can see, it's now wait and see. It's in that hunkered down mode until Hurricane Michael moves through the area. We are live at noon in Panama City. I'm Ty Russell, CBS 4 News.